This has got to be one of the ultimate sleepers from 15 years ago. So this adventure of kind of tracking down the iconic car has brought me to Northern Ireland, to a farm in the middle of nowhere, and behind here is the legendary Royal Nail. So let's have a look. And here it is, the legend Royal Nail. People always remember this as the iconic vehicle, the Cossie power, how fast it was when he built it, the stories. This is a legend. So let's drag it out of this barn for the first time in probably 2 years, and let's have a closer look at the legend Royal Nail. Now she's outside, it is funnier than I ever remember. This has got to be one of the ultimate sleepers from 15 years ago. You can't get better than this. This was the start of the funny liveries. Even I took inspiration from this, because I remember when Royal Nail came out, a few years later I built a Vauxhall van with fed up down the side, 0 to 60 delivery service, and it was all inspired by Royal Nail. And even looking now, there's still people building cars with Royal Nail down the side, and it all starts from this thing. Let's pop the bonnet, because I'm dying to see the old Cossie engine under here and see how this has been built. So this is the magic end of this car. The 4-wheel drive YB Cosworth engine. And as much as it looks a bit tired and the aluminium's a bit oxidised now because it's been sat in a barn for so many years, this thing produced around 600 to 620 horsepower. Remember, this was built probably 15 years ago. So them numbers are scary today, never mind back then. It is here to be fully recommissioned, and when this does come out, it will have a full gear set in it. It will have a fully rebuilt, reforged top to bottom to hopefully take more like 700 horsepower. This is going to be a legend again. Let's grab the camera, let's have a walk around, and let's show you some of the details. So let's have a look at some of the details. From gathering these, obviously they're like the Sierra wing, the inner wings that have been fabricated onto the van, the precision turbo, precision gate, some giant injectors, and some kind of, again, I would have thought that's like an aftermarket inlet manifold, because I don't remember the Cossie ones looking like this. Everyone remembers Royal Nail, the graphics. This was the beginning of the era of putting the graphics down the side, because at first glance you wouldn't know what it is. Then you've obviously got when you built it, and then obviously Royal Nail. I'm not even sure if that website is still even going. And then you've got Drag Racing Ireland, because obviously this was imported and it carried on its journey over here, and unfortunately it was sold, life got in the way, and it ended up in this barn. It was a legend, and it still is today, and I'm super chuffed to hear it's being rebuilt, parts are on order, and this thing is going to be living again. So then moving into the back, which is interesting for me, is I expected to see rear suspension tops from a 4x4. So I'm unsure how these were fabricated. But again, in here, lift pump, the main engine pump by the looks of things, always that a filter. It looks like some kind of filter. And then obviously down that side, you have the twin pump system, which is there. It was just built to be fast and fun. Nail van on the keys. You've obviously got the 4-spoke car steering wheel, master button. I would have thought it's maybe a master key, unsure. You've got the Cossie, which looks like the trip meter for fuel and everything else. And then you come down here to all the gauges. And you've got IC spray, which is intercooler spray, because back in the day, you would put a little like injector nozzle in front of the intercooler to spray water on it to cool the charge. Whether it works, who knows? The rally cars did it. Everyone had a go at it. It's got the obligatory HKS turbo timer, fan. This one's a weird one. Boost. I would have thought maybe that's for high and low boost. Air fuel ratio gauge. And does anyone remember Graham Gould Racing? To sit in here after all these years from watching it at Santa Pod up at York at Melbourne Raceway, this is a serious legend of a vehicle. So this is Wenny's newest build. Wenny was the builder of Royal Nail. So let's find the information out of how it was built and what's gone on and what's in this. So obviously we've been able now to get the bonnet open and have a quick look. And obviously the Cosworth engine, rear wheel drive, Cosworth gearbox, 300 horsepower in a Mark 6 smiley face transit running 15-second quarters. It just needs a cool livery now to suit the Royal Nail van. Thank you for taking the time, mate.
That's
really
all right.
Appreciate it. Royal Nail has this cult thing around it.
Yep.
Every time I post a van, everyone comments on that, your car.
I wish I had a pound for every time I was tagged in it.
Is it really?
Honestly, I wish.
That's why I reached out to you and said, do you want to come and do a video? Because I knew you'd get a million comments tagging you in. So what's the story with the van? How did it come about?
07, 06, 07-ish. I'd actually bought the van from down near London way. I think it was Kent way. But a guy had converted the four-wheel drive already. It had a 2.8 V6 out of Sierra in Turbo Technics.
So what was the floor? Is the floor? Is it Sierra floor?
No, he just added the mounts.
Right, okay.
It was done differently to the Mark III. The Mark III was all Sierra floor, Sierra engine bay, and what have you. This was just, he'd added the mounts in.
Right.
Push, lads. So it didn't even last us one night. We went out, as you are, your kids flying about the cars. Didn't even last one night, I blew it up. So basically, that's what I transformed.
You had a Cossie?
Had a full Cossie set there, so I had to put engine box, all the running gear in.
So what power was it when you had it? Did you straight
I started at about 300, and then we upped it for T34 on the greens, and we upped it a bit better. And then we ended up going T38 with greys, then Siemens. So we knocked on the door 400, we got a cam change. Alan from AirTech was my sponsor at the time with the Mark III, so he gave me intercooler, plenum, air filter, some hoses and bits and bobs. That's why the van's got AirTech on it a few places.
What was his best time?
And that was that really. Best time 11.4. Yeah, 11.4.
On slicks or still treads?
No, still treads. I've never run slicks in my life ever.
Oh,
6-inch wide steelies, that's all I ever ran.
So where did the livery come from?
We were on Passion Ford one night having a bit of banter and just back and forward talking about it. And I was going to paint the Polaris Turbo kit on and paint it up, and I thought, no, I'm going to leave it like a sleeper. That's what I like, sleepers better. But then I said, I'm just going to leave the dented wing on and everything. And then someone said, oh, looks like a Royal Mail van. So I was like, yeah, Royal Mail. And we're like, we could change that to Royal Nail, couldn't we? And that's where it.
Because he's like, say, he's come this cult icon now. I've seen Corsa vans with it down the side.
Yeah, there's been a few, hasn't there? Different ones, yeah. Royal Snail and all them. There's a few.
Do we getting rid of it?
Yes, 100%. Only car in my life we regret ever selling is that one. Yeah. Even though at the time it wasn't really worth a lot, it was just
Because you're just so much
Cossie
fun.
stuff wasn't even expensive then, you know, it was just 10 a penny, but
No.
yeah. Looking back, I would like to have kept it. Just refined it a little bit, but then they start getting more expensive.
They're more expensive. The parts get a bit more.
And then you start losing the fun.
Yeah, because you don't want to take them out.
That's what happened with the Mark III. Got so expensive, the fun went, it got serious, and like.
So where is the Mark III? Still got it?
I crashed it here in 2015.
Yeah.
Rebuilt it, but I put wide arches on it and painted it grey. And then I went to America, started getting the V8s, so I sold it. And Cossie stuff was getting ridiculous. And the gearbox alone in it was an arm and a leg, so was the engine. So I was like, nah, I'll sell all that and go cheap again and buy. So I bought a Mustang and just broke that and started building another car, but I've sold that now.
So where does this come in? So what's the story of this one?
I seen it on the internet for sale, and so I went to the top of Scotland.
Just a stock Mark 6 Transit?
Yeah. We'd already had the engine in.
Oh, it was already Cosworth?
Yeah, but no one could get it running properly and they're having to chew with it apparently. So I thought, I'll have a look at that, so I went and bought it. And
So what power is this?
it'll only be 300.
300.
It's on a little T3 with greens, so and a standard intercooler. So yeah, it'll be knocking on the door 300. I took pictures of Fast Ford magazine outside Royal Nail Depot next to my garage when they're featured the first time. But they phoned the police on us because they thought we were impersonating the Royal Mill vans, yeah, outside their depot, yeah.
No, like I say, it's been nice to finally find the thing and pull it out and see it in person.
Yeah. I'd like to see it myself in the flesh again, but it's done a few things which I'm not really fussed on the bonnet and all that front end sort of carry on, but if that other guy's going to put back look at standard, I think that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Look at standard and go fast.
Well, Norman said he did an engine to 600 in it.
Right?
That's what he said, he did 600 horsepower with it.
All right. I know you've had a big build on it. When we put the engine in, we didn't know anything about it. We just chucked everything in and just sent it, basically. And that was it. It was just good crack. When I built it, it was cost the Mark III was off the road because I was trying to buy a bigger power engine. I was having to save up, so I had nothing to race. That's why I built it originally, just for something to bring to USC and York Raceway and place like that. Just have a laugh, yeah.
So what was your fastest time in the Mark III?
9:52.
Wow.
But we were in for 8s with that car, but when we crashed, that was like that was our first proper full run that year, 4 and 8s, and we hit the wall here, and that was the last run we ever done it.
Right.
And that was it, which is a shame, but...
It's a shame. It's a lovely car, that.
Yeah.
Because it had the AA badge on the front.
The thing is, that's where I probably aren't sold into the Mark III, into the Royal Nail I just built on a whim,
And
that's
you've
what
ended up being great
that
cars.
gets all the, more of the attention, to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, listen, awesome. So what an adventure that is, to finally be able to track down this iconic car from many, many years ago. If anyone's got any iconic cars you remember from back in the day, put it in the comments. We'll have a go tracking them down. But this has been an adventure. It's probably taken nearly 2 years to be able to organise to come over to see this. And it's really nice to see that it's still alive, it's still a work in progress, and hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see it out with an even more powerful engine, a better gearbox, and back on the strip. So I hope you enjoyed that. A bit of trip down nostalgia. Such a pleasure to see Royal Nail again. So take care, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.